Alright, hey guys, and welcome to my first ever time opening booster packs for Star Wars customizable card game, also known as Star Wars CCG. And it's also going to be my first time ever holding or seeing these cards in person. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because I want to start this video with a couple of thanks and also kind of an intro for myself before we start opening. I've got a stack of packs here for different series. So first of all, I just wanted to say thank you to a few people in the Star Wars CCG community. You guys really inspired me to pull the trigger and get into this. And it's all people that come from the Star Wars CCG graded community. Thank you to Kyle Mullins, who I have pretty much binge watched, I think 90 to 95% of all your videos that you've done on your channel opening your packs. And you were very helpful with your talks with other collectors and talking about the graded market and just the cards in general. It was very helpful and made me enthusiastic to get into the hobby of Star Wars CCG. Also, a thank you to Mark, also known as Darth Grader. I've also watched all of the content and live streams that you've done as well. Hopefully one day you're able to get back to making videos because I really enjoy your perspective on especially the graded side of things for Star Wars CCG. Also, thank you to Matt. Board Matt is his channel. And he is a very, very good resource for anything having to do with Decipher stuff, Lord of the Rings. He helped me get into Lord of the Rings as well. So thank you, Matt, for your very helpful and insightful videos with overviews on the sets and the cards and how to get into collecting them. And also Igar Chow. I've watched a ton of your pack opening videos, and it's very helpful for sort of seeing what the pack openings are like realistically, because he opens packs fresh from booster boxes a lot for his eBay shop. So if any of you are watching this video, thank you very much for helping get me into Star Wars CCG. So before we open these, a little bit about myself. I've been a Star Wars fan since I was really young. I think I first watched Star Wars when I was about 9 or 10. Essentially, I really got, I was 10 years old exactly, actually, because I remember stepping into the theater to go see A New Hope for the first time. It was for the limited edition version, and I walked in there with my parents, and it was so funny. I'll never forget this memory. And it was the beginning of A New Hope when Darth Vader is, walking through the beginning of the movie there as he's like, attacking with the stormtroopers. And we walked out because we seriously thought that we had just walked into the movie midway through because it was so much action. We were not used to seeing movies that started with such a bombastic opening. So we walked out thinking that we had made a mistake with like the showtime and went and saw a different movie. I would eventually see all the Star Wars movies, and it was history from there. Real quick, my favorite Star Wars character, and something that I think will help set me apart from other collectors within Star Wars CCG. My favorite character is Greedo. So my favorite scene in all of the Star Wars movies is actually the Mos Eisley Cantina, and this is really important. And I know this is a long intro, but I do want to get this stuff out of the way because I do think it's going to be very important for watching my Star Wars CCG openings. A lot of people that I watch open booster packs get very sad, or, they're like, oh, this isn't that good of a card when they open all the weird Cantina aliens or Jabbas Palace aliens. But me, I am actually going to be sleeving those cards, and I will get excited if I pull a rare or one of my favorite Cantina aliens. And because my intention is I would eventually like to start grading these, and I want to, for my personal collection, yes, I'll grade mains if I pull them fresh from a pack, but I want to grade like all the Mos Eisley Cantina Monsters, and this will take a long time because, it's quite expensive to grade. But I'm going to be aiming for PSA 9s, and of course PSA 10s, but PSA 9 will be my goal for as many Cantina aliens as possible. So it's going to be really fun because when I open a weird alien card that nobody can even pronounce the name of, it's going to make me actually excited. So I hope that will be enjoyable for those of you seeing somebody actually get excited over those weird alien cards. So I've got a nice little variety here of packs, and I could have opened these so much sooner, but it just didn't feel right to do my first ever Star Wars CCG opening without opening Star Wars Premiere first. This was the first set that came out in 1995. I had to wait for these to come last because I was like, how the heck can I do my first pack opening for Star Wars CCG and not start with Premiere? And then we will move on to a pack from New Hope, and then 4 packs from Jabbas Palace, and then finish with a pack for Tatooine, which I've got something to say about this pack, but we're going to save that until the end. So let's move these off to the side, and we will open my first ever packs for Star Wars CCG. And I'm going to be taking my time here now. I'm going to be looking at the cards. I'm going to be appreciating the lore and the flavor text. So let's see how these packs open first of all. Let me move my mic back just a little bit. So I have heard that Premier is not the easiest cards to grade. Out of the pack, they usually come... Boy, this is a little harder to open than I thought it would be. Actually, very glued on the top. My goodness. Okay, let's try the bottom. There's a lot of whitening and, like, problems with the... almost makes me feel like that pack was, like, re-glued or something. That was incredibly hard to open. So I've got a little cheat sheet, which I totally just lost, so I'm going to have to try and remember this, but I believe it is... The rarities in these cards are not marked, so it's, I believe, 5 dark side cards and then 5 light side cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our rare is a dark side. So that way I'm actually able to tell which is my rare, because they don't mark them on the cards themselves. Alright, so to begin, we've got... this font is going to be a little hard for me to read, and my webcam is not the best at focusing, so I will do my best. But we're going to go through these. Any kind of Mos Eisley Cantina cards, in terms of creatures, I'm going to put off to the side. And these packs seem to be pretty nice, actually. I don't see too many nicked corners or anything so far, or whitening. And the centering looks okay, so that's a good sign. The rare, though, looks like it might have some... Yeah, it's got a little white dot on the side there, but that's okay. Stormtrooper backpack. Let me just play with my focus here just to make sure that this is as good as it can be for the font. Yeah, that's as good as we're going to get it. So, for those of you that have never seen Star Wars CCG before, there are no foil cards in this set until much later on. They did reflection sets, and then the Endor set had foils, and I'm still learning a lot about Star Wars CCG, but don't expect me to be opening any foils. What we're really looking for here are main characters in the rare slot. Oh, nice. Awesome. One of my favorites. This was one of my earliest figures when I was younger. So this is Nabroon Leeds, and his flavor text... Sorry, I'm going to try and keep it on screen here. Four-armed smuggler and pilot for hire. Man, it's so hard for me to read this with my setup. Might have to try and improve this in the future. Masurian male, breathes methane, former fighter pilot. He could take you anywhere for the right price. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be setting off any Cantina aliens to the side, and as we can see, it's already got a giant white dot there, so that's probably not going to be gradable, but I'm going to set that off to the side regardless. But those are the kind of cards I'm going to be looking for as an example. Alright. And looks like my rare is coming up next, so let's see. Wouldn't it be crazy if my first ever rare from a Premier pack was Darth Vader? It's upside down. Is that a good sign? Or was this a resealed pack? Doctor... Oh man, well that's fitting. That is fitting. My first ever rare from a Star Wars Premier pack is indeed an alien from the Mos Eisley Cantina. He's a thug, a smuggler, twisted doctor disfigured by his blaster, has death sentence in over 12 systems, notorious partner of Ponda Baba, alias Dr. Cornelius and Rufu. So, just a little bit more backstory. I'm going to put him in a sleeve, even though he does not look gradable since his bottom corner there is a little nicked. Actually, yeah, I'll set him off to the side and grade him, or put him in a sleeve later. My first ever Star Wars figures... hold on, where is that pack? Where did I put that pack? Oh, I don't know where it went. I was going to check that pack to make sure that it wasn't resealed, because these were loose packs that I bought from somebody else. Here, I found the pack. It just looks like it was a pack that was just a little harder to open than I thought it would be. But yeah, just to show this one more time, you can see the corners there next, so this would be completely ungradable, but I will be looking for Cantina alien cards that seem gradable. Alright, let's see if this is any better. So, as I was saying, my first ever Star Wars toy was Greedo. I just loved the setting of the Mos Eisley Cantina when I watched Star Wars for the first time. And just when they walked into the cantina and you just see all these monsters, and just, ah man, it was just such an amazing setting. And I just fell in love with everything having to do with the cantina. And I love Greedo the most because it was the first like interaction with some kind of crazy alien in Star Wars A New Hope in terms of like actual dialogue and everything. And I just fell in love with the character of Greedo. I used to collect Greedo merchandise and collectibles, which I have stopped. I just don't have the room for it anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm hoping that I did this right, and I'm hoping that's actually the rare. Alright, this pack also seems to have slight corner nicking. Nothing too bad from what I can see. But from what I have learned from watching a lot of other openings is Premier packs are pretty rough. You can expect a lot of issues with Premier packs in terms of condition. But let me tell you though, if you're in the Jawas, there are so many Jawas cards in Star Wars CCG. And you might be like, okay, so why would you collect Star Wars CCG instead of something like Star Wars Topps or something with bigger, nicer pictures? And that's a good question. My first main reason is because the community seems very welcoming. I love the idea that the Star Wars CCG community, especially the graded community, they make content together talking about, you know, who's pulling what. Oh, awesome. Okay, this was also one of my first ever Star Wars figures. So a lot of people, their first Star Wars figures are probably Luke and Darth Vader and R2-D2. No, I was getting cards like Momo and Nadon. This was one of the first ever toys I bought for Star Wars. So when I went to Toys R Us, I got Greedo, I got Momo and Nadon. Instead of getting R2-D2, I got R5-D4. I got just like the weirdest, craziest monsters. Pretty much the less screen time that a creature had in a Star Wars movie, the more I probably liked them. And Momo was always one of my favorites. So this is looking... Yeah, he's got some issues. He's got a little bit of like ding corners right down there you can see, and a little bit of whitening. So not the best condition. The centering looks alright. Centering on the back is not that good though. It's a little off for sure. So probably not gradable, but I'm going to set him off to the side. And followed up by Cabe. Awesome. Cabe here is looking like he's got some nicked corners as well. Not the best of condition. You're looking for so many things with these Premier cards when it comes to gradability. But we'll set him off to the side. But yeah, I was getting like all the weird cards, all the weird characters. And my rare in this pack, shoutouts to Kyle. We got a Seeker. Just a really funny card that if I've binge watched all of Kyle Mullen's Premier pack openings, and this is like one of the last rares you want to see from these packs, and he seems to pull every one of them in existence. So shoutouts to Kyle. Let me put my rares off to the side here. I think, yeah, we'll actually do this. Let's put him here as well, just so I can keep track of my rares. All right, this is my last Premier pack for now. I'm going to put out one more video with another variety of packs like this. So if you're enjoying the Star Wars CCG content, you want to see my journey through Star Wars CCG, opening packs, grading from packs. I do plan on grading. That's one of the main reasons I got into this. So shout outs to all of you out there making videos on the grading side of things for Star Wars CCG. You definitely inspired me. We're going to start small though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and my rare has a white mark here on the side. Ooh, I think I just accidentally shuffled those cards, so our commons and uncommons are going to be a little out of whack here. But okay, I'm getting so off track. I'm just so excited to open these. The reason that I wanted to get into Star Wars CCG over other forms of Star Wars cards is because they have such an insane variety of creatures that you just don't find in any other card iterations of Star Wars. You're not going to see all the weird Mos Eisley Cantina Monsters, all the Jabbas Palace creatures that you would normally see in Star Wars films and just never represented in cards. So I love the fact that pretty much anything, even if it's a blurry shot that's in the film for half a second, they will give it a card, and I love that. So that's one of the main reasons. The other reason is, like I said, I really like the community aspects with collectors in Star Wars CCG. I love watching their content, and they make me really excited for it. And it's like a sort, it's still pretty small. The amount of people that are collecting and grading Star Wars CCG is still not immense, but it's starting to grow. And I think it's a really good time to get into it, because if it ever really starts to take off, it's gonna, do wonders for the collecting community for this. So starting while it's, still in its early stages. And I've wanted to get into grading cards, and this is a way to help me get into grading cards. And I was having trouble deciding between CGC and PSA, and I think this will be a good way to kind of force me to finally start submitting some of my cards, not just Star Wars CCG, but all cards to PSA. Alright, and my rare for this pack... Oh man, well, most people would be really not so happy to see this, but it seems fitting that I would get the Tatooine Cantina, and it's a dark side version. A little bit of a dark shot there, and it has no shot at being graded because all these packs seem to have nicks in the corners of them, just like some severe corner damage and whitening. But hey, I'm opening these cards to get the Cantina stuff, so it only seems fitting. Alright, we've got one pack. Let's set my Premiere off to the side so I don't get it mixed up. I've got one pack of A New Hope. These are a little bit harder to get for a decent price, so I don't have too many of these to open. I am going to be ordering singles as well to try and get stuff that's in near mint condition for grading. I totally didn't mean to like just tear this pack. Oh boy, A New Hope. I believe A New Hope is the same card trick. So 10 from the back. What I'm hoping to see from here is Greedo, or any Cantina or main character. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got a late side rare. Eject. And just in case you're probably curious, do I plan on playing this game? Right now I plan on mostly just collecting. Nice, we got an alien. Let's set Zutton off to the side. But I would love to learn how to play over GIMP at some point, but I think I'm a little bit a ways from that right now, because Star Wars CCG does seem quite intense and high learning curve. Oh, awesome. We got a Defil, which is not to be confused with the Wolfman. I think his name, I could swear it used to be Lax Sivrak, the other Wolfman from the Cantina. And this is looking to be really nice. Hold on here. Good centering. I don't see any whitening on these corners. The back looks super clean. And I picked myself up like magnifying glass with light to examine these cards for scratches and defects. The only thing I see wrong with this card is in the top here. Let's see if I can catch it with the light. You guys, you Star Wars collecting community for grading, you'll have to let me know. It's a little hard to tell. The top corner looks just like ever so slightly like there's a tiny little defect there, but it looks like this would probably at least be a PSA 9. There's a tiny bit of whitening down here on the edge too, like ever so slight. It's a tiny bit. I don't know if you could pick that up. Right like around here. Anyway, I'm gonna put that in a sleeve because that is looking like it might be my first gradable card from the Mos Eisley Cantina. And these are the kind of cards I want to get graded. Everybody else in Star Wars CCG grading community seems very reluctant to grade cards like this, and I don't blame them, because who the heck wants to spend money grading a card like that when you can grade a Luke or a Vader? But for me, I love those characters, and I would just love to just have fun building up a Cantina graded set. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, just so you know, I do a variety of TCG stuff, so I don't just do Star Wars stuff. So you will see a variety of things on my channel, but I cover all kinds of stuff, Lord of the Rings, Decipher included, all kinds of weird, strange stuff. And also I like the challenge of getting good condition cards in here. If you open newer Star Wars cards, they're all going to be in mostly good condition, right? Like PSA 8, 9, 10 most of the time. Whereas these, there's kind of a fun chase on getting like really mint condition cards that you won't really have that experience in older sets. Alright, here we go. My first A New Hope rare. Commence recharging. So, not something too exciting, but you know, that's how it is with Star Wars CCG. There's the mains, and then there's not the mains. So, um, all right. So how about we do? Well, we'll keep going in order. Let's do Jabbas Palace. So Jabbas Palace are some of the cheapest packs because most people, like I said, don't like the aliens. I like them, however. So there should be some fun stuff in here. I think the mains you're looking for in here are like Jabba and Princess Leia, Slave Leia. So let's see what we can pull from here. I'm trying not to get these stacks mixed up because one of the hardest things for someone like me is remembering the sets and what comes from what set. I mean, obviously Jabba's Palace will be super straightforward. Ooh, I haven't seen this one before. I'm not sure if that's Labrio or if that's a different alien. Let me see what the flavor text says here. Adept at sneaking through corridors and alleyways, divinarians frequently surprise opponents, regarded as drunkards, gamblers, and fools by many species. I like the card art on that one. See, that's another thing about Star Wars CCG. They did a lot of stuff where they took unique screenshots that you honestly just did not see from the movies, or they hired costume actors to like portray characters that didn't get representation in the films, or like maybe their screenshot wasn't the best. So they have a lot of shots from the films or characters that you just don't see elsewhere. This is probably not gradable because the centering on this is absolutely terrible, but I am going to set that off to the side as a card that I do like. And my first rare is Droopy McCool. Alright. I'm not like a super big Droopy fan, but this looks to be in really nice shape. Centering seems good on the front. Centering on the back looks pretty good. I don't see any major flaws with this. So this looks sleevable. This looks like it could be a gradable Droopy McCool. By the way, if any of you that are watching this that are familiar with Star Wars CCG, if you see me pull any kind of card that just looks like, hey, ooh, he didn't notice that he pulled that card, or ooh, that's a pretty, like, that's a $5 uncommon right there, please let me know, because I'm still learning. I'd love to know any little secrets that you guys notice that I just don't see. One other little tidbit about the earlier Star Wars sets, I think it's for a new Premiere and A New Hope and Hoth, I believe. There are different tiers of rarities within the rarities. So there aren't just rares, there's like more common rares, and then there's more rare rares, known as R1s and R2s. Oh, I forgot, Jabbas Palace is no card trick, right? Yeah, so no card trick. I don't remember if I did the card trick on that first pack. So we are just, that's what I like. We are just gonna keep going until the last card, which is the rare. Ooh. What the heck kind of name? See, this is why I love Star Wars CCG compared to others. I don't think I've ever seen this guy before. If Nemeth. Starfaring explorers lift the meth. Have a reputation for being sly and unforgiving. Many abandoned their homeworld after the Empire invaded. The females ritually kill their mates. Man, I love the lore on these cards. See, the fun thing about this too is it makes me want to like go look up some kind of like Wikipedia on all these weird characters I've never seen before. So let's put that guy here. And then we've got Snivian. See, this is unique art created for Star Wars CCG. You definitely don't get a shot like that of this guy in the films. Generally artistic Snivians. The cold, dark climate makes them excellent scouts. It's another nice one. Set that aside into my cards I like pile. Ooh. I love the color on the sky on this Jabbas Palace. Jabbas Palace Sabak. Kind of like that one. That might be something that I grade when I run out of cards to grade. I just love the colors in the background. Worf. This is the creature cards I've noticed in Star Wars CCG tend to kind of like break the borders a little bit. I kind of like him. So, while this is a card that features Jabba, you shouldn't really get too excited unless the card itself says Jabba the Hutt. So the mains are like named characters. A lot of the effect cards and interactive cards in this this game will feature mains as their picture, but they aren't like actually considered mains. Oh, awesome. I think this is actually a screen grab that they took directly from Mos Eisley Cantina and just reused it. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, this guy is also in Jabbas Palace apparently. Let's see. I wish my webcam was a little clearer. I'm going to try and read off my webcam here. Female Duros, expert pilot, helps run the docking facilities in Mos Eisley. Friends with Aloris Madak, approves all cargo manifests for giving of minor transgressions. Okay, so this is a Mos Eisley Cantina card. Nice. Oh, and that's my rare. Awesome. Centering is a little off, but the condition on this card, however, looks pretty nice. That seems sleevable. This is exciting. I know some of you are probably watching this like, oh. Like, you know, these are not cards to get excited over, but I love it. I love the Cantina Monsters. And I really hope it'll make watching my CCG pack opening videos when I can do them more exciting because, you know, I don't know. I love these obscure creatures from the Star Wars universe. And the reason why I would open these from packs and why there's value in me opening packs is because normally these are the types of cards, these alien cards, most people just toss to the side or put it in like a box for storage. They don't really sleeve them or take care of them because they don't hold a lot of value. So getting these pack fresh in really good condition and preserving them pack fresh from the pack is not something that too many people do outside of probably like some resellers that sell singles. So this is a way for me to have the best chance at guaranteeing really good condition cards that are potentially gradable. And so far so good. We're definitely getting some cards that I can look closer at for grading purposes. Ooh, love this guy. Bamar Mook. Let's see what the flavor text is on this. Members of a mysterious religious sect resentful of their monarchy being taken over by Jabba shed their bodies and have their brains encased in a walking automation. So cool. That is going in the cool card pile. So yeah, the big hit card from here is Slave Leia. It's a very fan favorite card from what I've noticed. It's not a very expensive card, but that's what you're looking for. Pack fresh if you can get that in the PSA 10 would be awesome. Let's see what we get. It's upside down. Ooh, we got a planet as our rare. We got Nal Hutta. Guess I'll sleeve that. One of my dream cards to eventually get are all the foil Death Star cards. They look so cool in foil. Alright. Last Jabbas Palace pack before we get on the Tatooine. If you guys are enjoying the video, by the way, be sure to leave a like. Helps spread Star Wars CCG to more people's recommended boxes. Also helps support the channel. Alright. Another pack with good condition, it seems. Weequay Guard. Ooh, that guy looks cool. Ishi Tib. He has a... I think he comes in like an enhanced deck with a foil version, which I really like. He's a little more expensive. It's probably going to take me a while to get a good single of him. Let's see. I just love the color combination of the green alien with the orange background. Extremely efficient organizers sought after by transgalactic corporations spend a large part of their life underwater protected by rough, thick skin. Good centering. Oh my god, we are just hitting it out of the park right now. I'm so happy with these. This is way more fun than I expected it to be. Centering on the back is not good, so probably not going to be a good gradable card. He'd probably be at the most a PSA 9, but that is going to go in the I like it pile. Ithorian. Good-natured, optimistic herders from Ethor, planet trees and reforested areas. Plant trees. I'm reading off my webcam, so what you guys see is what I'm trying to read. Plant trees and reforest areas. Sided with the rebellion at great risk to their home planet. So this guy here seems to have good centering. Oop. Centering on the back, though, is definitely a bit off again. But see, that's the fun of it, right? Is like you pull these, they're in good condition, but you got to get that. You hit every mark on everything you're looking for condition. And that's what makes it a fun challenge. And that is my rare. We got Strangle. So, not too many creature rares out of the Jabbas Palace packs, but a good start. Alright, now here is a bit of an unfortunate thing. I did a bit of like deep dive searching on eBay, where I searched like things that people may not search to find Star Wars CCG packs, and I found somebody that was selling Tatooine packs for only $10 each. With shipping, they came out to be a little bit more. They advertised these as sealed packs. They didn't mention anything about them being opened. These are opened packs. I looked. They advertised them as sealed. They didn't mention anything about it being open. I'm not the type of person to raise a fuss over something like this. It is what it is. I mean, what am I going to do? Send it back? I'm just going to take the L. I'm not going to leave them bad feedback or anything. Because I looked, and it seems like somebody that probably came into these from like an estate sale or something. Because they sell a bunch of like weird antiques. And they had some Star Wars stuff up there. So they probably actually had no idea, first of all, that these were open. They probably just looked at them, and if at first glance it looks sealed. Unless you actually like examine it. So who knows? What I'm hoping happens here is that this is from somebody from like 20 years ago that opened these, and to keep them in nice condition, they just decided to put it back in the pack. And let's hope that they pulled something really rare like a Darth Maul and just didn't care, right? Wouldn't it be crazy to get an opened pack of Tatooine and pull one of the like crazy rare alternate images? So let's pull this out real careful. I've been really falling in love with Tatooine lately. Okay, so if I remember right, it's 5 from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got a light side rare, I believe is the pack trick. So how Tatooine works, this is one of the later sets, so it's getting a little harder to get. But how Tatooine works is there are, mains like Darth Maul, Sebulba, Padme, and they will have alternate image versions where for every 3 of the normal rare version, there is 1 alternate image, which is extremely rare, and they tend to go for quite a bit of money. So that's what you're hoping for from these Tatooine packs. I'm getting like so many cards here. I'm going to have to actually hold this with my other hand and put them off to my right. So let's hope we get something good, or hope we get a good alien. At least. And if I did the pack trick wrong and you're like, oh, that's the rare, please let me know. Yopi. Entering the arena. It's a nice card art there. Jedi's Patience. Once again, if I get any uncommons that are actually like... Wait a minute, hold on, what the heck? I just realized, I'm like, hold on, why are we seeing Luke in Tatooine packs? Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I guess we have no idea what's about to be in here. This is interesting. I'm not sure, these are probably like premier cards or something. Okay, so there may not even be a rare in this pack. Looks like I'm going to have some looking up to do. Great Shot Kid. Well, that's probably the most interesting Tatooine pack I've ever seen. I would assume maybe that's a rare. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. So there's my my quote-unquote Tatooine pack. Whatever, it was a fun experience either way. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed my first ever time opening Star Wars CCG. Please leave a comment. Any advice you have, any cards I might have missed where you're like, oh man, I can't believe you pulled that from your first pack or something. Please let me know. There'll be more openings on the channel for sure. I've got some loose cards, singles coming. We can go through those and kind of show you what I'm concentrating on. And thank you for your welcome to the community, and I'm excited for more Star Wars CCG. Thanks for watching.